Antidote of Song. Wonderful to see all your faces coming in. And I'm really happy to be hosting today. Um, Today, will I remember the number? 12:07, maybe? That's just a guess. No, 5, 10, 9, 8. Okay, I should just look. 12:09, 12:09. Okay. Um, Welcome to day 12:09 of the Daily Antidote of Song. It's really great to be here with you all, and I'd love to get started greeting everybody. Hello to everybody watching on the live stream. Thanks for tuning in. Hello to Joe Rossi for being here, coming in from Pine Woods. It's also her birthday today, so we're very excited to be celebrating her. Hold your cards, we'll celebrate lots at the end. And hello and welcome to Dr. Kim Harris. It's great to be singing with you today. Thanks for being here. And hello, Kevin in DC. Hi, Mabel, and Two Bears in Massachusetts. Hello, Becky. Hi, Susan G in Cincinnati. Hi, Wendy Luella Perkins coming in from Canada. She is a regular song leader with us as well. Welcome. And Dawn Peabody in Vermont, maybe some curly tops are around. Hi, Kate in Charlottesville. Hi, Arlene in Berkeley. Deborah in Kentucky. Hello. Hi, Annette in California. Kathleen coming in from Albuquerque, and Kevin Ennis. Welcome. Good to see you. Hi, Kathy in Virginia, and Bonnie in Boise. Hi, Julian, Ontario, Canada. And hello, Bob Gaser. Great to see you. Hello to Ruth in Birmingham in the UK. Hi, Regina Gallagher. I hope I said your name right. Okay, awesome. Welcome. And Linda on Orcas Island, Sarah in Texas. Hello. Hi, Fred in Silver Spring. Hi, Deli, also in Silver Spring. And also Susan in Seattle. Good to see you. Hi, Ann in Silver Spring, and Storm. Welcome, Kathy in Colorado, reminding us of the lands on which we stand. And Nancy and the Irish Cow. Hi, Sandy E in Western North Carolina. Hi, Aloysius in Massachusetts. Paula in Northampton, I think that's Massachusetts. And Moon in Virginia, welcome. Bob in sunny Massachusetts. Glad it's a nice day for you over there. And Mr. James Harkless in Maryland. Hello to the Curly Tops coming in from Vermont. Hi, Karen in Oregon, and Leah Shepherd. And I believe that's everybody. It's really great to be with you all today, and I would like to welcome to the stage Dr. Kim Harris. How are you doing today?
Well, I am doing well, and I actually am sending out greetings to all of you from Reggie. Now, some of you, because I know lots of you are our Facebook friends, and you probably heard that Reggie is in Austria, and he's in the hospital in Austria. And what happened was that we got over there to do that big show that we were talking about, because I think I talked about it last time I was on Daily Antidote, and it was about Harriet Tubman and revolutionary women and all. But he got an infection that affected his kidneys some, and you all know he's had that liver transplant back in 2008. So they're just being very, very careful and taking great care of him at the University Hospital in Graz. He sends his love to everybody and can't wait to get back to the States. And some of our friends have flown over to be there with him, so it's
Oh,
fantastic. So I'm coming to you from Augusta, Maine, where I took over and did a couple of the things that we had planned, including a performance with Noel Stuckey. Yes, yes. Peter, Paul, and Mary. We did a performance together, and I'll tell you all about that another time when I am on, and hopefully I can be on with him sometime. So one thing that I did learn, and I keep learning about the songs, which is really exciting to me, is about a song that I learned on the Clearwater, and I really love to sing this song. And I always thought that these sea shanties, that they were, coming from some of the places a little further south than Maine, or that, there wasn't as much of the long haul sailing going out of Maine. But it turns out that it was quicker to get from places like Bar Harbor, Maine to the Caribbean, which you could do in 5 or 6 days on a ship, than it was to try to get from Maine to Vermont walking. And so they would sing these songs, and the songs spread all over the place. So let's sing this sea shanty. Oh, my Clearwater friends, you remember this one too. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all fall in behind, or we'll all hang on behind. Okay, ready? Oh, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. We're raising the sails, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, we'll be alright if the wind was in our sails. We'd be alright if the wind was in our sails. We'd be alright if the wind was in our sails, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, well, we'd be alright if we make it round the horn. We'd be alright if we make it round the horn. We'd be alright if we make it round the horn, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Well, a night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. A night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. A night on the town wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Now, I know there's a verse here that says another festival wouldn't do us any harm, but on this day where for many of us it's one of the hottest days of the year, I think we need to sing this. A tall glass of water wouldn't do us any harm. A tall glass of water wouldn't do us any harm. A tall glass of water wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, we'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along. We'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. And I think there's some friends that are definitely at Falcon Ridge this weekend, so we can sing. Another festival won't do us any harm. Oh, another festival won't do us any harm. Another festival won't do us any harm, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Mm-hmm. Yes, I love that song. Love it. And some of you might say, Chariot, does that have any relation maybe to something like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot? Well, absolutely so. And what people don't always remember is that, especially in the 17 and really in the 1800s, a large percentage of people who were uh, sailors, the merchant seamen, and maybe some women in disguise, were African American. Now, for some of the black sailors, they called them black jacks. And yes, some of them were involved in the Underground Railroad. If you watch that movie Harriet, about Harriet Tubman, you can see, visualize some of that history of the black sailors helping people to escape. You had people like Frederick Douglass dressing up as a sailor as part of his escape, and of course, working in New Bedford as a caulker and working in Maryland also as a caulker. So the seafaring tradition was important for African Americans. And during the time of enslavement, even if you were enslaved, when you're on a ship, everybody's got to do their job. So, you can't say, well, you're only going to do your job when I tell you to do your job, because otherwise it won't work. So it's very, very interesting kind of history. So, yes. And the Chariot, they're actually Swing Low, Sweet Chariot was one of Harriet Tubman's favorite songs. But I think, and I have to find this book because there's another book out about Harriet Tubman that I don't have. I know, imagine that, right? But talking about her actually singing this song. So I'm going to do a little more investigating about it. And if I find out some interesting things, I'll tell you another time when I'm on.
Oh, well, we can't wait for that reporting back. And I also know, so thank you for the song and thank you for bringing forward this history. Um, I did have one little question about the song. Do you know what it means to make it round the horn?
Yes, I'm figuring that they're going around the tip of South America. Yeah,
Oh,
going
okay.
around the horn
Yeah.
because especially when you read some of that whaling history, uh, they had to go further and further as the whaling industry was so big. But of course, that meant they were killing off the whales, so they had to go further and further to get more whales because first there was incredible whaling right up in Massachusetts, off of the coast of Massachusetts, but they further and further and further, and eventually they were going, even some of them were going over toward Hawaii and
Uh,
going to Peru and places like that, so making it round the horn.
okay, okay,
And
makes sense.
there are incredible stories about that. I mean, including uh, about the Essex, where the whalers got lost and they wound up, have using each other for food, and I mean, just that incredible story. And that was about long haul whaling, and even Moby Dick is about long haul whaling and what can happen to you on those kinds of very long trips to get the whale oil.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, being on a ship is it's such a like concentrated like amount of time and space and mm.
Absolutely. Yeah, actually, one time I don't know if Reggie ever sang his whaling song because he composed a shanty. Well, when he's
Cool.
back and feeling better, I'll have to get him to sing that if he didn't already sing that song for you. Um, when If there were black and white sailors on a crew like that, they would call it a checkerboard crew.
Oh wow.
And yeah, yeah, because there were integrated crews for sure, and needless to say, stuff happened, but we'll get into that another time.
Mm.
So it's pretty incredible. So yes, there's some great work being done here, and people getting together and singing in Bar Harbor and in the Blue Hill area, singing work songs, all different kinds of work songs, like work songs that Shakers sang in the fields, and
Mm.
work songs obviously that people sang, on the ships and all different kinds. So I'm finding out more about that from some of the people that I'm meeting in Blue Hill. Hmm.
Ah, that's wonderful. Can you tell us more about so you're leading a song camp right now, is that right?
Well,
Or
no, what I'm doing is that there are two kids camps actually
oh, okay.
that Reggie and I have been singing for literally for 25 years. So, I mean, we've seen some of the kids grow up and they become the
Aw.
counselors and they become, so it's been really fantastic. When you meet someone and they say, I remember hearing you sing when I was really little. And they love to sing Pete Seeger songs, and they love to sing environmental songs, and so
Mhm.
it's really fantastic. So we always go twice a summer, once for each session.
Oh,
And
okay.
so uh, so that's partly, why I'm up here in Maine. And so what's interesting, someone was asking me, well, are the kids listening to those songs? Because when we grew up, a lot of folk songs, of course, were on the radio. When some of us grew up, I know
Oh,
you're,
yeah. Mhm.
yeah, and now those aren't the songs that are on the radio. I mean, if I ask the kids, what are your favorite songs, they're going to sing me a Taylor Swift song or something like that. And yet they love to sing If I Had a Hammer. And they love
Mm,
to sing, that solar power song, and they love to sing Blowing in the Wind, so they love that music still. So we just have to keep going on, with those songs that even if they're not the popular songs, they're the songs people are singing, and we still need songs. We need music to help us keep going and to help us work for
absolutely.
justice. We absolutely need songs.
Well, that's wonderful. It maybe I'm showing my age, but it never occurred to me that like folk songs would have been on the radio.
Oh
And one-
my, yes, they were. I mean, well, when you look now, remember we're coming up on the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington. And so, of course, you had, Bob Dylan sang for the March on Washington.
Mm,
Odetta sang for the March on Washington. Peter, Paul, and Mary sang for the March on Washington. And, part of why they were singing was because they were the famous people, who were on the radio. So yes, it was that, when you turned it on, and it was
yeah.
incredible to be singing with Paul Stuckey the other night, and one of the people that helped to put that concert together remembers, hearing them sing at the March on Washington
Mm,
and saying that, he's been influenced by their music for just, decades and decades. So yes, it is very interesting to think that those were the top 10 songs. And I know there's some people in our Daily Antidote song group that were at the March on Washington. I
mm.
was at home watching on television, and the screen was, this big, and it was in black and white. And my sister kept poking the screen. Mom said, "Why are you poking the screen?" My father had gone. My father went to the March on
Oh,
Washington, and my sister was going, "I'm poking the screen. I want to find Daddy in the crowd. Where's Daddy in the crowd?"
wow.
I was 6 years old, and she was, I think, probably 11 at that time.
Mm, wow.
So.
Wow. Okay,
All
that's
right, so let's sing this song again. Everybody, get yourself ready. We're going to put the lyrics up there, but you never know what I'm going to sing because it's that kind of song. Let's roll the old chariot. Ready? Here we go. Oh, well, we'll roll your chariot along, we'll roll your chariot along, we'll roll your chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, we'll roll your chariot along, we'll roll your chariot along, we'll roll your chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, well, a little bit of wind, it wouldn't do us any harm. A little bit of wind, it wouldn't do us any harm. A little bit of wind, it wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, we'll roll the old chariots along. We'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, a little bit of peace, it wouldn't do us any harm. A little bit of peace, it wouldn't do us any harm. A little bit of peace, it wouldn't do us any harm. And we'll all hang on behind. Come on, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, a tall glass of rum, it wouldn't do us any harm. Tall glass of rum, it wouldn't do us any harm. A tall glass of rum, it wouldn't do us any harm, and we'll all hang on behind. Come on, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old Chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, we'll roll the on. Chariot along, we'll roll the on. Chariot along, we'll roll the on. Chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. So here's a verse just for Reggie. Well, a little bit of healing wouldn't do us any harm. A little bit of healing wouldn't do us any harm. A little bit of healing wouldn't do us any harm, and we'll all hang on behind. Oh, yes, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. One more time, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, we'll roll the old chariot along, and we'll all hang on behind. Woo! Yes. And I see somebody. So for anyone that came on late, Reggie and I went over to Austria to do that show about revolutionary women, do that show about Harriet Tubman in Graz. And he developed an infection over there, and it went to his kidney. So he went to the hospital, the University Hospital in Graz, and they have been incredible and fantastic. So he is still there. He is on the mend. If you're, Facebook friends with him or with me, you can see the posts that he posts every couple of days. So he's getting it together. Some friends have flown over, and so it's been great. We've had friends helping us out, coming over to be with him and helping me get the car and just all kinds of fantastic things. So I'm going to get myself together. I'm heading off to Hidden Valley Camp in Freedom, Maine, where those young people love to sing all the kinds of songs that we sing here on the Daily Antidote. So thanks, everybody. Yes, please keep sending those healing thoughts out, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.
So much, Dr. Kim. So great to sing with you today, and I'm sending a lot of love and healing to Reggie. I don't know if we want to give one blast sending all the way across to Austria. Okay, here we go. Lots of love to Reggie. Thinking of you.
Right. I'll tell them definitely to tune in because, it's about 6 or 7 hours ahead of time, there. So, all right. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for singing along today. Thank you to everybody who watched on the live stream. Goodbye. And thank you to Kevin in DC for joining us today. Thanks, Becky, for being here. Susan G in Cincinnati, and Wendy Luella, great to see you. Glad you could join us today. Mom and Papa Curly Top, great to see you as always. Goodbye, Kate in Charlottesville, Arlene and Deborah and Annette, great to see you all. And Kathy in Virginia, Bonnie and Julie, Regina, sorry, almost said Raina. Regina, goodbye, thanks for joining. Anne in Nashville, and Ruth, thanks for being here. Thanks, Linda, for joining, and Mabel and Leah, great to see you today. And Kathleen and Caroline and Susan, great to Susan in Seattle. Yes, sorry, you were it was you were right. And that was so funny. And Mr. James Harkless, I think boxes got moved around. Great to see you today. And Jane in Texas, and also Kevin Ennis. Lovely to see you today, as well as Diane in Puerto Rico, great to see you, and Anne in Silver Spring, and Martha, and Sarah in Texas, and Kathy. Both Kathys are here today, and Jamie and Linda in Concord, and Bob in Massachusetts. Goodbye, Fred and Deli and Storm and the Curly Tops, and Nancy N and the Irish Cow, Paula in Northampton, Moon, thanks for joining, Lynn, thanks for joining, and Kat as well. And now I think I did say goodbye to everybody except for